Yo guys, welcome back to the MMA Nights. The featherweight title fight between Alexander Volkanovski and Diego Lopes is just a few days away now, and here is what the pros have to say about the fight.
If Volkanovski even like half of his prime how it's called,
if he fights like he was in his prime,
have even 50% of his prime shape, he can beat this guy easy. So, and I'll be next for him, and we'll see.
Well, that was my next question, because on Ariel Helwani this week, Volkanovski said he'll fight you again in 3 months. So you think that's the plan? You think he beats Diego and then you're next for the title against Volkanovski?
Yeah, if everything depends of him. We'll see what UFC will say about me or about his next opponent, but I'm ready. Like I said,
I did not like the idea of Volkanovski for a world championship. I didn't think it was right. I believe he's 1 win, 3 losses in his last 4 contests. I know his last 2 times they needed smelling salts and a stretcher. To suggest that he could fight for a world championship, I just thought was false. And it's certainly not because I don't respect Volkanovski. This is one of the greats. But I had a hard time being fair about getting him in front of Diego Lopes. But now that Toporia's gone and Volk isn't getting in front of Diego Lopes, he's going to get in front of Diego Lopes. I love the idea. Not to mention, I don't know who I think's going to win the fight. This is a very interesting fight. Better get his ass out of there in the first 15 minutes. You do not want to go to championship rounds with Volkanovski, no matter what kind of a run you are, no matter how young you are, how good you are. Don't see Volkanovski in the 4th and 5th round if you still got business to do.
Lopes is dynamic. He's super dynamic. He has the ability to go out and get a win over just about anybody. So it's hard to count against that. But Volk, I probably lean a little bit closer, more towards Volk, just because we've seen the ability. Just the ability. Certain things that I've seen will be a problem for anybody. And if you haven't really been on point and fought against guys that are at that level, you know what I mean, like that. Don't be wrong. Diego has shown that he's completely 100% dynamic. He's capable of a lot of great things, but the adjustments that Volk has been able to make, and then the puzzles that he's been able to present throughout his career, I believe will kind of make me lean towards that.
I can see Diego Lopes knocking Volkanovski out or potentially putting him in a submission, bro.
Diego Lopes, he's ultra aggressive, and there's a method to it as well because of the way that he put it on Brian Ortega. Just the combination that he was landing and dropping Ortega was just beautiful. But in him being ultra aggressive, I do think that Diego Lopes does make some mistakes. And Alexander Volkanovski, I mean, you look at those trilogy fights that he had with Max Holloway. Alexander Volkanovski is a technician. If that same Alexander Volkanovski steps in here, I don't see how he doesn't get it done.
But it's this ding, 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 ding. When you get knocked out, it's the body protecting itself. Hey, man, like I got to protect myself from dangers. I'd rather go out. Once you get clipped like that and you're out, like his body's just going to boom, react. It's going to protect itself.
Now, he's a great grappler, phenomenal grappler. Look, beautiful job by blocking right here. Beautiful job. Not allowing Brian Ortega to get that knee back in. Beautiful stuff. Just those little things that I see, when I'm watching these.
I like Volkanovski, so I'm gonna, hold fingers for him.
Otro reto que es el que tienen Volkanovski y Diego Lopes. ¿Te atreves a darme una predicción rápida de ese cinturón vacante que has dejado libre?
No sé, predecir el futuro de nuestros hijos es complicado, pero no sé. Le deseo suerte a los dos, pero vamos, todo el mundo sabe quién manda en esa división. Simplemente les he dejado un juguete para que se diviertan, porque para ellos es importante. A mí no me hace falta ningún cinturón.
Extremely hard fight to handicap. A lot of it is because what Volkanovski is going to show up. Is he going to go, well, okay, I need to protect my chin. Let me play it conservatively here and try to outpoint him and be the strategist that he is. But then you have Diego Lopes, who's going to be a fireball. He's going to go out there and he's going to try to find that chin of Volkanovski early and often until that final bell, because that's kind of the way he fights. I think that Volkanovski can handle Lopes on the ground. I do believe that. I think if we've seen him so many times get out of some crazy submissions with some great Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belts, I'm not so concerned there. But I think on the feet is where I kind of want to see him. I want to see him outmaneuver Diego Lopes, and I think those first 10 minutes are going to be critical. And after that, he can kind of go into cruise control.
You get knocked out at 155, bigger guy, then you get knocked out again.
A lot of people thought I was mad fighting 3 months later against Ilia Topuria. That messes with your confidence and all that. I'm calling bullshit on that. And the only time I maybe felt something a little bit, maybe when I was in the cage. That's where I was like, all right, maybe there is something to this. So then obviously that...
You're like,
I accepted the fact that I'm having a proper break. For the first time since I was 22 years old, I was able to put me first. Am I going to be able to flip the switch and go back to that fighter's identity?
Yep.
The fact that I know I could switch between the two was so good for me.
Every fighter, this is our identity. Man, what's going to be like after I stop fighting? You got a glimpse of that with Cooking with Volk. You see your kids still love you, your wife still loves you, you're having a good time, you're enjoying your whiskey, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to give it everything I got, because I know once I'm done and I keep building this empire, I have something to look forward to when I come back.
The drive I have right now, I'm ready to get that belt back. I'm getting it back, and I'm going to be that active champion. Like, a lot of people they're not going to believe me until I do it.
Yep.
So I'm planning April 12th. Don't be surprised if, when I win, and I'm already calling the next fight straight away. Like, I'm, I'm ready to do this. I'm like going, all right, let's go.
Yeah, damn, these are some good fights coming up. Let's go with, probably Volk will win that one, but I definitely think Lopes has a really good chance. I think Volk needs to wrestle Lopes if he wants to win, because, not that Volk's a bad striker or anything, but I think that Lopes is a very good, dangerous striker.
I think Volkanovski is going to put the beats on Lopes.
Do you have beef with Diego Lopes?
No, but I would have said that more respectfully had him and his manager not tried to attack me as if I said anything disrespectful to them. I would have been more politically correct about it, but I truly do think Volk is going to put the beats on him. And I'm going to give them the reason why Volk is going to whoop that ass.
All right, let's hear it.
And they can use this as hate, or they can use it as fuel to improve and get better and give themselves a fighting chance.
This is free game.
Volkanovski is coming with a vengeance. He is in phenomenal shape. What he does great versus what Diego Lopes does great is not the same. Volk is super well-rounded. He's strong in every single department. Maybe not a submission specialist, but he's very hip to the grappling game, where Diego Lopes is a very good grappler in terms of submission threats. But when it comes to striking, he is an all-or-nothing guy in the first round. There's no pacing for Diego Lopes.
Volkanovski, Diego Lopes, only one can come out the champ. How do you see that fight going down?
I do see Diego Lopes winning. I do think, as much as I love him, I think Volkanovski's just at that point in his career now where he's on the decline. But he had such an amazing career that it's hard to maintain that. So that's no insult to him whatsoever. I just think the level now is so high. And I do think that he's at that age and that time in his career now where he's going to be on a decline. But I think the belt's going to get bounced around. I think Lopes is going to win. Then maybe Mosva's going to fight and win. I don't see anyone now kind of holding on to that belt for a long time like I thought Ilia Topuria would do. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the featherweight titles starts working now.
That's another hard one too. It's like we don't know what Volk's chin's looking like after the Islam knockout and the Topuria knockout. But it seems like he's doing the right thing, taking some time off. Lopes is just such an unknown, and I want to see Lopes get the win, but I think it's going to be hard against Volk. I think Volk's going to do it.
Yeah, I feel like when you're looking at Topuria and Diego, they're similar, but they're really not. Like, they both have crazy power, but I think Topuria is more calculated and he sets stuff up a lot better. Diego's just going to walk you down, and he's just going to throw bombs at you, and he doesn't care if you try to shoot on him because he has good jiu-jitsu. But I think Volk, experience in the Topuria fight, he's going to know. Because he had moments in there, right? He was jabbing and moving, just sticking and moving, sticking and moving. And I was watching Diego because Yair was supposed to fight him. We thought Yair was going to fight him. So I'm watching tape on him, and I'm looking at him, and I'm just like, he has that chaos that he loves. But I think Volk's experience is going to be too much for him. I think he's going to be smarter in the earlier rounds, avoid the big shots earlier, make it, even kind of like what he did with when he fought Aldo, pushing him against the fence, holding him there for a little bit, draining him a little bit. Then once it gets to the 4th and 5th round, those are the championship rounds. And I do think that Diego Lopes will get tired in those later rounds because he does go so full force in the early rounds.
Who do you think will win the fight? Do let us know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe and leave a like for more MMA content like this.